Really?
Well, the thing that, again, I don't like insurance companies, anything, I think it's organized crime. All that stuff. Well, nobody tells you, well, you're not covered under this, and if you cover this, and if you only have this insurance, then we're only gonna give you that much. They don't tell you that stuff until there's a 3,000-pound branch on the side of your house. Oh, by the way, we're not gonna cover that. They give you $250 to treat. That's it. Doesn't matter if it's this big or that big,
Wow.
and it doesn't matter if it's on your roof or not.
Hi, Carolyn.
We are.
Hi.
Anyways, or recordings.
Oh, okay. Heard from Steve. Grove, we'll give him a minute. I look something up here.
Oh.
Thanks for doing that, Birch.
It's like unofficial.
Sorry.
There's no turning back now.
It's gonna stay on.
If your thing doesn't stay on.
Yeah, I think I
there's a
had
whole
dead
pack of
batteries this
there.
time.
I brought those in. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get started here. Welcome to the new year. January meeting. Holly, would you call the roll, please?
Chairman
Here.
Mayhood. Mr. Craig.
Here.
Not Mr. Eckhart. Ms. Nestro.
Here.
Mr. Grody's not here. Mr. Ruthie.
You here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Caitlin is sick. She got an eye infection. She thought she might be able to do Zoom, but she can't even do that, so. She had to go to the ER last night with
Oh,
it. Yeah, so it's pretty serious. That's not. Stand and salute the flag, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, just one note. We're going to refer to Caroline as Ms. Nessero. I thought she might want to be called doctor since she holds a PhD, but all this forward, we'll just call her Ms. at her request, so take care of that.
Welcome.
Caroline or not?
Oh, yes, you can use Caroline.
We can always
I
call
just think about
Caroline,
people who
right?
think I'm a medical doctor. You know, and unless there's some good reason to have it in there, I just.
There isn't, like I said, when I worked at Kodak, anybody that had a PhD, they want to be called PhD, or they want to be called doctor, even though they were doctors of science or medicine, so.
At the school of nursing, I'm fine with them calling me. Works over there, but.
Okay, so we'll try to remember to do that going forward. Privilege of the floor, anything that anybody wants to bring up? Okay. Approval of the minutes. December meeting, Holly put them together. I didn't find anything wrong. Anybody have any corrections? Make a motion, we accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, folks, thank you. Good job. We'll go into reports, town board. Town board met January 8th, 2 weeks ago here. And it was the organizational meeting excuse me, everything is pretty much as they've been the past few years. The bank and the rules of procedure, the procurement policy, the highway department. Contracts with Ontario and Livingston County. All that stuff that they normally do. The one thing they did do that might affect us is they changed the mileage reimbursement rate to 67 cents per mile. Apparently, that's the new, this year's IRS figure. So if you go to training anywhere outside of town, you have to drive there. Within a voucher, 67 cents per mile for the distance you travel. Not a whole lot going on. Highway department, they were busy with training on their new grader. Town got a brand new grader a couple of months ago. They've been training on it up on Birches Road, I guess. I don't know if you're seeing an improvement or not.
No.
Last time I was up there, it was still filled with potholes a couple of weeks ago, so. Anyway, that's what they're doing. They said they're training their newest employee. He's gonna be designated as the grader operator since they figure he'll be around the longest. They're training everyone, but he's gonna be the designated grader operator. I don't know who that is. I don't know the name. I did some shoulder work, cleaning leaves out from culverts, clearing dead trees that have been on or near the road. And they had 11 snowplow runs since the previous town board meeting, which was in December, and they had several plain salt runs. That was his update. Water district, no, nothing going on there. Everything's running smoothly. Okay, they appointed Denise Kuhn as a town historian. Appointed Krista Hoover as the town clerk. And reappointed Steve Grote to planning board. I haven't heard from him, so I don't know. And reappointed Linda Morehouse to the zoning board of appeals. That's pretty much all that I had written down of interest.
Say about the town clerk.
You said, yeah.
Court clerk.
Oh,
Did I say town?
Yeah.
Court clerk. Yeah, that was just a matter of cleaning things up because we had a discussion in the previous meeting that the justices actually hired the new town court clerk. And there was some discussion, should the town board have some input? Turns out it's not required, but it's normal procedure for the town board, local town board, to make the appointment or certainly somehow agree with the appointment by the justices.
Yeah, it was in that magazine,
Yeah.
the town's magazine.
Yep.
It was interesting that there should be agreement between it. Didn't really say who.
Yeah, the way I read it, it still came out that the justices have the authority to hire or appoint some
Fire.
hire or fire that person filling that, so. So Krista's going to be the bookkeeper as well as the court clerk. If you haven't met her, she sits in there next to supervisor. Any questions on the town board meeting? Good. County planning board, haven't heard from Steve, so. Have a report there. Zoning board, I didn't look to see if they
Yeah,
did.
they were supposed to meet January 10th, but they called the meeting off.
Okay,
They had one application. I mean, it showed on the agenda, but then the announcement on the front page was called off.
okay. Code enforcement, got the report from Joe Miller here. Have any questions? He normally gives us an end of year summary, but he didn't give us that this year, so. If you have any questions, contact Joe directly.
I was surprised at the number of short-term rentals. Oh, 33.
Yes. Mhm. He said there were still a few that have been submitted and they have not reviewed. And I asked, how many properties do they think around town should be applying? He said several. Didn't really specify, but he said there was several that should have applied for that, if not yet. Comprehensive plan, Caitlin's not here. I guess you guys met at least once.
Yeah,
Anything to bring us up to date on?
well, it's a lot more than I thought it was gonna be. But roughly, I asked a question, how much of the plan needs to be, I thought maybe 20%. When I read it, but Caitlin said 15%. And then I asked how long, and she said 2 years. 2 years. That for 15%, I was gonna talk to her about it, but seems like a long time. I was thinking 3 months.
I think doing the surveys is gonna end
Yeah,
and collating that and coming up with stuff and given how quickly the town, things move. I mean, it'd be nice to get it all done in a year, but
it would be nice to get it done in 12 months. But I think also she's looking at how long it took us last time. It took like 4 years last time, but
Last time, it took them, once they got it done, it took 5 years, for the town board to approve it.
that's
I said
why he
that-
mentioned the speed of the town board. The comprehensive plan research group last time around had
Yeah.
it done. Well, 2.5 years, which was significant,
Yes, it
but
is.
they had not revised it since. I forgot what the date, but it was several years. So I think Caitlin is using that as a guide, particularly because of the survey. And then, like you mentioned, once we got it done,
Mhm.
submitted it to the town board,
Right.
it was like pulling teeth.
But I also
Every
think it-
meeting, I would ask.
Yeah.
Was the comprehensive plan updated? It just
it's how
dragged-
much participation we can get,
Mhm.
Yeah.
of other people, and then how much work are we gonna
Yeah.
be willing to do?
Yep.
Who was the gentleman who was there, was on both of those planning,
That was Mark Malmadeer
Mark
Oh,
Mellon?
okay.
Yeah.
So he gave
He
a
was-
lot of insight.
on the original and
He's
then
been on
the
every
second.
one of them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, a long time.
he's a great resource. I wasn't sure if he was gonna be able to participate this time.
Yeah, he said he's not, but he is. We're
Yeah.
gonna,
Oh, yeah,
he's gonna help with the website.
It's okay.
yeah.
Well, that's what he did last.
What does the 15% refer to? Because I'm.
Well,
The amount of change.
changes, like we mentioned the rentals, short-term
Right.
rentals. And things like that. And so I thought it was like 20%. It's another book. There's a
Did he
big
give you
book,
a-
another book. And really, they coincide. The quote of the town of Candace code
Well,
with the comprehensive plan,
right.
right? Chicken before the egg. got
Well,
another-
the code, the town code supports
The
the
plan,
plan is
Plan.
what the vision is for the town. All
Right.
these details, and then regulations, hopefully the regulations in the code support that.
well, Caitlin sent out 5 PDFs. And you got them, right? 5 PDF.
Yes, I
file.
did.
Yeah. And she's very conscientious and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm just the opposite. I'm bottom line, let's go. Here we go. Let's do it.
Well, that's what you need, a balance. Any committee.
I think the 15% also refer, a lot of it's boilerplate,
Oh,
It
yeah.
describes the geography,
That doesn't need.
I
update.
think some things will need updating instead of the town of. The city of Rochester owning the land,
Yeah.
it'll be the state, it's now state forest.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So those kind of
Yeah,
boilerplate
Right.
things
right.
and maps will have to be updone, but
The other thing is census information.
Yeah.
Right.
They want to update all the population information.
Right.
Takes a while.
So they just decided on, didn't we, on doing something through like, we decided on Facebook or something to outreach people about the,
I don't know. if
Try to
we really-
recruit.
Yeah, I don't
For now.
know if we actually decided anything, but we discussed different ways of getting hold of people.
Yeah,
Doing a mailing,
there's no newspaper anymore,
Right.
basically.
but doing a mailing to every
Yeah.
resident or landowner.
Yes.
Get a
And
card or
there's
something.
1,000, I guess 1,000 different.
Yeah, because
Properties.
Eileen checked it out, how many tax bills there were.
Yeah.
And she
Right.
said 1,000, like you said.
So,
So, I don't know.
I got my share. All right, well, again, I'm not surprised she's estimating 2.5 years. Be nice to get it done sooner, but.
well, you'll make sure we get it
There's
done
a goal
quicker,
for
right,
it.
Dwight?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
right.
Okay,
Grab the reins.
Pressing every minute. No,
Okay. We don't really have any business, we don't have anything, the only thing from an old business standpoint. Is getting the final survey maps for the. Chichetti property up on. This Hill Road, we. We approved the subdivision a couple of months ago.
is that
We're s-
both of them we're waiting for? or just
No,
one?
Mr. Ward got his in.
Okay,
And that's been recorded. I looked it over and remember that when there were a couple of boundary changes to make the septic and the well conformable. And so they did that, and so that's all done. So that's the only old business that I'm aware of. We don't have any new business, we don't have any applications to look at. So, fast meeting, but what I do want to say, Caroline. You are currently an alternate, and I know you mentioned when you came on that you wanted to be an alternate for a while. Are you ready to be asked to be appointed as a permanent member of the planning board?
Yes, Birch, twisted my arm.
Good,
No, yes, definitely. No,
okay. All right.
So what do I have to do?
Well, you don't have to do anything. What we would do is someone make a motion to recommend to the town board to appoint Caroline
I'll
as a
make a
permanent
motion.
member of the, a regular member of, not permanent. It's not
make a-
lifetime.
I'll make a recommendation. We recommend Ms. Nestro. as a
Okay,
permanent member.
a
Now,
regular member. We're not
Does
gonna
she-
call it permanent.
does she take the place or fill in the remainder of Steve Engart's?
Yes,
Okay, so it would be whatever his term was,
Yeah.
right?
this term is, I can tell you what that is. Oh, no, that's the old, that's the new one. I don't have the old one. Good.
After mine out,
I don't have it. I do, I have it at home.
yeah. Well, I'm just
But yeah,
curious.
he'll be appointed for the remainder of Steve Engard's,
So give you an out, you don't have the full 7 years.
right. Whatever that will be. Okay, so there's a motion to
I make a
recommend.
second it.
Paul seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. So they will do that at the next meeting. Which is, they meet the second Monday of the month, so that'll be February. Then I'm not sure whether you have to be sworn in as a regular member or not.
I don't think so. I didn't have to be, but
I,
Eileen's here.
Eileen keeps track of that, yeah. Should know about that. So that was a motion and the second, and all in favor. So,
Someone will let me know if I have to get sworn in again.
yes, I'll let you know. Put that up to the town board. Really nothing else going on. Oh, I'm sorry. Some timber harvest. We have 3 permits. 2 of them have been prepared by registered foresters. So they're exempt from site plans. The third one is being done by Michael Dunn. They're less than 10,040 feet, so they're not required to have timber harvest registration. Eileen told them they needed to fill one out anyway, just so the town knows what's going on, but if you're interested, one is the Proctor. Stanley Proctor's. And the other one is Joshua Shumway, and the third one is Michael Dunn, if anybody wants to see, there are maps there. Anything anybody wants to bring up?
I just had one question, because I talked to Joe about this on recreational vehicles. We
Yeah,
went over that before, but somehow it's worded where he can't really enforce it. Or doesn't feel that he can enforce it. It's like, I don't know, we should maybe look at that sometime.
okay.
Or I can ask him again what his thought was, because,
He doesn't think he can enforce it.
well, because of the way it's worded, it's like a certain number of days, but then how do you prove that? Before, it seemed like it was a time period, a 90-day time period. but,
Yeah,
It kind of came up because there's a fellow who uses a camper, seems to be there a lot on Candace Hill Road. And he didn't have a permit, but now I guess he got a permit. But then I asked Joe about it and he's like, well, it's kind of hard to enforce, but
yeah, I thought we went through
Yeah,
that.
we did.
Worked out the wording.
I thought we
with
did too, and I
him, the
reread it.
attorney,
I don't know.
well, why don't you talk to him? and
Okay,
See if there's some action. Okay, and then just for your information, we got an inquiry from a person. That owns the property down on West Lake Road. Where there used to be a campground. And the new owners are thinking of reopening it as a small campground. Wanting some information, so I referred them to the code enforcement officer to see what the current zoning was, or not zoning, but. If they've got a site plan and what they need to do, so. That's just on the back burner for now, so. Anything else?
I just see those.
Oh, certainly.
I'll make the motion to adjourn,
All right.
take Steve's place.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
There you
I oppose, thanks. So we may have several meetings like this throughout the year, Caroline, where we really don't have an application. We do meet rather than cancel, just so we can meet, so.
So we get $45.
Yeah, get you 48 this year.
All right.
Ooh.